Hello, and welcome to Bard College. We're back. We're so back. It is a new campaign. You might remember us if you ever watched the Courage of Cerulean campaign from that adventure. There's a slightly different cast this time, but with some returning favourites, not least Kirsty, who was just drinking. Hello. And also John. There he is. Gav, who was a featuring guest player in the Courage of Cerulean campaign, is now returning for a permanent seat at the table. And we have an altogether new player, Craig. Best wishes to our former stalwarts, Lucas and Lucy. If you are watching, you know you're always welcome. This adventure in earnest started this past weekend with our extended session 0. And I say it's extended because most session 0s are talking about kind of common rules, house rules, expectations, themes, the kind of work into the planning of a campaign. But in truth, that planning was going on for, at least with regards to the players, quite a few number of weeks. And in my respect, this campaign has been months in the planning. So session 0 really was just about kind of nailing down the characters that we wanted to play, establishing their connections or lack thereof, and then doing a little bit of world building. And kind of lighting the touch paper, as it were, giving the party a common goal or shared experience. So, as we embark today, we are starting this sci-fi Spelljammer inspired campaign, and this arc will be called the Valethirian Catastrophe. It takes place in the galaxy or number of galaxies called the Black Meridian, which is an eerie area of space, which is contested by multiple political factions. The group, this party, found itself thrown together. And what I would like from the players, to give me a break from talking, is for them just to briefly introduce their character. Who are they? What are their kind of faction associations? And how did they end up on this mission? How about John? Could I ask you to go first?
Yes, I'm playing Kryn, the Silver Dragonborn Paladin. He's a former operative of Consec, or the Stellar Concord Security. And following his honourable discharge from service due to some politicking and things like that, he found himself pretty much kicked out on his ear with little money and took on an escort mission, a bodyguard job, to escort a diplomat, Ainathe, to the world. Could you remind me, DM, of the name of the world we made our way to?
The world is Elaroon.
Yeah, so we took our party together. We met Zam and Otua, who escorted us there on their ship, the Whittlequick. And as I'm sure you'll describe and we'll pick up from, disaster entailed, and we booked it back on our flight. Barely intact, and licking our wounds. That's where we last got up to.
Sure. Thanks, John.
And I need a pen, so I'll be right back.
That's okay. Craig, how is your character tied up in this mess?
I'm playing a character who's called 54266 for the 020, or otherwise known as Otua. He's a human former scrapjack, which is a group of space scavengers. Him and his friend Zam managed to escape from scrapjack law and have spent a few years on the run. They came across the rest of the party when Otua had a sudden urge, an inkling, something, the desire, like driven him to suddenly get to the spaceship, that the Ark that Kryn and Ina were on, and that same drive has been plaguing him for a while now, which also, and that's how we found the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. So, Kirsty, it seems as though at least Otua and Kryn met your character aboard this Ark. Do you want to describe your character?
Yeah, I'm full of colds, so I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. But she is an astral elf. She is the kind of diplomat that they've picked up from the House of Ormithax. She's a librarian, an archivist, has led a very quiet life after experienced the Sundering when she was much younger, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. And yeah, this all kicked off as she was making a speech that she was sort of forced to make.
Sure. And it seems as though this disaster that unfurled as Ina was making a speech and Otua is making a discovery, Gav, probably the party may not have survived if it wasn't for your character. Do you want to explain that?
My character is called Zam. He is Gelaton race. He was originally human and was in a bit of an accident years ago with Otua at the time. He found the core of a ship that was vaguely like a slime or a life form, and it attached himself to him. Since that time, he has no recollection of his life before. Otua has tried filling him in on what he knows, but he's kind of dependent on Otua for a lot of things. Did
and in this
find...
case,
Sorry?
And in this case, in terms of how did he intervene in kind of, you know what I mean? How did Zam come to support the rest of the party in this most recent adventure?
So, whilst Ina was given a speech, Otua had run off to try and find what the thing was that was calling to him, and found himself aboard a derelict ship of sorts. Sam rescued him from, was it a spelljammer that he was attached to when there was a thing that's attached himself basically to Otua, and Sam managed to get him out of there. But on returning back to the ship, when all hell had broken loose, the party were attacked by some consec guards, and everybody went down. Zam was the first person to go down, actually, but he was revived, and then soon after the rest of the party went down. And it seems that somehow Zam was able to unlock a hidden power within himself, and he was able to extend out his jelliness and absorb everybody else into him and make his way back to the Witterquick, and
which
quite quickly
is
get everyone out of there while the planet was falling to pieces.
Which is where we will pick up our adventure as we embark in the aftermath of this Valthyrian disaster, as each of our players there has recounted to you. This unlikely band of mercenaries, diplomats, guns for hire found themselves within Kython Empire space, Stellar Concord space, where there was some diplomacy to be done. This former colony of the Astral Ascendancy has seemingly found itself in a state of dire unrest. After being sent there by a representative of the Triarchy, the ruling body of the Astral Ascendancy, Ina, escorted by Kryn, Otua, and Zam, embarked on this mission to kind of quell that unrest and slake their thirst for violence. However, the speech did not go well, and as Gav just described, they needed to get out of there because some kind of psychic awakening seemed to have befallen Ina. The bookish student became this cosmic weapon, and it seemed to coincide with a cataclysmic event, one that was foretold to Otua only moments before by an entity named Nexivus. Nexivus seemed to want extraction from Ellerune, this doomed planet, before the cataclysm took hold. So whether by luck, coincidence, or design, the party, having gone through this experience, have boarded their Shrike ship, the Witterquick, and escaped the planet as it was plunged into environmental turmoil, acid rain, towering waves, fracturing earths, a real disaster. And we will pick up at the start of this session there on the Witterquick in the orbit of Ellerune, moments after making their escape. I believe a couple of our party members are somewhat exhausted. Could they remind me who they are? Zam is exhausted, and Ian is exhausted. Oh, and Otua is exhausted. We will start conscious, all of us, with at least one hit point, if you weren't already. And with Zam in control of the Witterquick. Zam.
Did you say we're already in orbit? Sorry.
Yeah. In the orbit of the planet. You punched through the atmosphere.
I think I would put it on keep an orbit around the planet and just observe what's happening in the different places. Obviously, we're in like a point where there was a big catastrophe. And just seeing from where we are in orbit, can we spot things on other sides of the planet and stuff like that, or is it just centered to where we are?
I will ask you to make a perception check.
Very well.
First roll of the campaign. How bad is this planetary damage? Oof.
There you go.
With a 22, you can see widespread environmental anomalies. From this shallow orbit, it looks mainly like storms which crackle with psionic lightning you can see smoke and ash erupting from various mountainous volcanoes. But the damage seems to be, if you'll pardon the expression, like surface level. We're not talking about a planet that is physically shattering. We're talking about one which temperature is changing, which magnetic fields are fluctuating, and which weather is simultaneously experiencing its most extreme disasters. How long this will sustain for, you have no idea, as this, at least in your lifetime, Zam, is a completely unprecedented event.
As long as the planet itself isn't breaking apart, I'd keep what I'd think would be a safe distance, I guess. So, like, enough away from a storm where I don't think things are going to break through the atmosphere and get us. But
yeah, that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, I'd maintain that distance. And then just everyone's just coming round, really, aren't they? They're coming back to. I think everyone was down when we first.
Oh yeah, you tell me what you're seeing, what you're doing.
My immediate response would be to find Otua wherever he was dumped after the ooze, and just check over his wounds, like make sure he's awake and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. Do you want to go over and inspect him closely with a medicine check, or do you want to role play a kind of reconvening?
I would. Yeah, medicine check. I think just if he's unconscious or down on the floor or however he is, then just check over his wounds.
To make a medicine check.
Things like that. 16.
Okay, with a 16, Zam rushes over to Otua, who I think would be coughing up this kind of mucousy liquid that he might have swallowed. Maybe not sure exactly on the details, but he is conscious, breathing, and looks at you, presumably straight in the eyes.
Every time I wake up with a taste of Zam in my mouth, I know who to thank. Get us out of another jam.
Yeah, you good? Can you fly?
I tell you what, Sam. It's a good look. You were the ship. How's everyone else doing?
I don't know. I can see you first. Here, take the Spelljammer helm, and I will tap him to make him attune to it. And then just like look at him dead in the eyes and be like, "You good?"
I need a few things to sort out, but yeah, generally we'll get by. What's the situation?
We literally just left orbit. That's it. I'm going to check on the others now.
Okay.
And then gone. Try and find whoever I come across next.
Kryn, you are definitely the most battle-hardened of the group, and I'm going to say that it might have taken you less time to collect yourself. Where does Zam find you? In what kind of demeanor or approach is Kryn taking at the moment?
I think after having made a cursory check over Ine and, no one's gravely wounded, he would have just been on the deck. He'd approached the edge to observe the planet and is just standing there stoic but gobsmacked at what has just happened to these millions of people.
Kryn,
Having
what?
that perspective that Kryn has quite well travelled, but always on the side of the people. The tragedy of this situation unfolds before you. Sorry, Gav, go on.
Kryn, what happened? I was coming back with O'Toole, and it looked like the whole planet was falling apart.
The dead gods know. I just... speechless.
It looks like it's happening all over as well. Like it. What happened at the speech?
Aina seemed to change. I don't think all of this was caused by her. She unleashed some kind of power. The rocks from the cliffs around us were floating around. I tried to approach her to get her back to the ship. I barely made it through this kind of force field she was emitting, and next thing I know, I managed to drag what was left of us out of there. The concept guards tried to stop us getting on the ship. It's a blur from there. I think you saved me.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that, but like, what's happening to the planet? Like, do we need to get out of here? Is it safe?
I'm no expert. It looks atmospheric. I think at this distance, seem to be okay. How is the ship?
I've not checked it yet. I always check on the crew first, and then we'll check on the ship after. Ship's replaceable, people aren't. Are you okay to deal with Ina and I'll check on the ship?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And he just shakes his head and doesn't know what to say and darts off to go and check the rest of the ship.
Okay, just make an investigation check for me, Sam.
17.
Rolling well tonight. The damage to the Witterquick is cosmetic only. We're talking a few limestone scrapes, a few lightning scars, but this ship is designed to get the hell out of Dodge, and indeed it is well practiced at doing so. So she'll be fine. If not for some visible markings that one might associate with a extreme weather event, it's noticeable.
Okay. And I'd check on Omnom as well.
Oh. You did have to bank pretty hard, and always you know that the ship's own gravity plane can sometimes get a bit topsy-turvy when leaving a planet's gravity plane. You don't usually drive. You're usually battening things down. And so it's with some slight reluctance that you open the door to your quarters where you expect to find anything that you have pillaged and stolen. And indeed, that is where you find the caged bitey squig that you acquired from the lonely docks of the Shattered Hymn. For the first time since you've met it, it is cowering in the corner of its cage. Tiny almost like puppy-like ears pointed down to the ground, and what are usually snarling teeth are almost subsumed by a quivering lip and some larger black puppy dog eyes.
Zam would say to this toothed menace, "You good?"
It just seems to cower as far back as it can into its cage.
"I'll be back," and then rushes off to the next room to assess for damage in the next room.
We will cut back to Kryn, who I assume goes to check on Ina.
Yeah, he'll go and pass her a canteen of water. I don't know what happened back there, but you certainly had a part to play in getting us out alive. Are you wounded?
I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right. Feels like a horrible dream, but that's there, isn't it?
Yeah,
all happened.
I take a look. Has she still got like a scar on the head or anything, or is any visible remains of this weird psionic power?
There is indeed a fresh scar in the middle of Ina's forehead.
Can't imagine you've experienced anything like this during your days in the library.
What's happening down there?
Good question.
Go to a window. Can?
Yeah.
I guess I see all the things that you described before.
Yeah, it looks catastrophic.
Does it remind me of anything?
Make a history check. You see it now. All of the renditions of the Sundering that were recorded in the century or more since it happened, you always lingered on in those books in your library. Many an elven scholar took ink to parchment to try and analyze and retell and explain the Sundering. Oh, it was a unstable planetary core. It was an arcane malfunction. It was the vengeance of a dead god long since usurped by the astral ascendancy. However, none of them have ever been able to do that horrifying image in your head justice. And that horrifying image is almost exactly the same as the one that you are unlooking from your porthole in the Witterquick right now.
I don't know how it sort of happened. I didn't do anything, Kryn, did I? I didn't cause this.
You got us the hell out of Dodge. I don't know quite how you did that. I don't think you could have caused all of this. It's It's a complete environmental collapse. All those millions of people. Perhaps what happened to you was just the extension of a symptom of what was happening to this planet. Maybe it unleashed something in you.
Maybe. Can't go back home, can I?
Might still be an option.
As you linger on what to do next, where to go, who to speak to, a side to choose, we will break and resume in 25 minutes or so.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us once more. See you shortly.
See you soon.
welcome back. If you're joining us from before the break, then you know that this is episode 1 of the Black Meridian, the Valthirian catastrophe. And we will resume aboard the Witterquick as the party ponders their next move. Reconvening, topside, we can see the spelljamming helm currently being adopted by the Witterquick's captain, O'Tua. Conscious still of his surroundings, he would be aware that his colleagues, this newfound party are all reconvening around him. What's next?
Are we all up to speed then? We're all settled and all okay?
The ship's good.
Right, have we got a plan as where we taking us, where we going?
Well, I don't know about where we're going, but like, what is this? What's happening to the planet?
I've never seen anything like this before. I thought Kryn said something about Ina and I don't know. I've never seen it.
The reason I'm asking is, like, do we need to get out of here, like, immediately? Like, are we in danger?
It seems to be at a safe distance. It doesn't seem to be leaving the atmosphere as such. We seem to be okay.
We can still help people.
Okay.
Do you think it's possible if other ships were able to evacuate the planet?
I think it's reasonable. But, like,
We did. Someone else must have.
who do we tell?
Is it more help to get away and find someone who's got more ships and more capacity to help bring them back?
DM, what do I think would be like the closest Stellar Concord outpost or something like that that could alert them?
You know that you are in Concord space, and thus it won't be too long if you point the ship in the direction of Kython that you come across a Concord patrol, if that is what your plan is.
One option is to inform a Concord ship or outpost nearby. They might be able to send ships to evacuate, and I look down to the planet like hopeless in the idea that anyone could still be alive down there. Or other option, we could travel in orbit on the circumference of the planet, see if there are areas that are less affected where we may be able to land and save a person or two.
Can I have a look to see if there is like anywhere that just look less affected or safer to try and land back on the planet?
Yeah, sure. I will give you a perception check, and I will give it you at advantage at this moment.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, is that it? You can set your settings in beyond 20, Craig, to roll twice. And so it becomes easy to select to just do advantage and disadvantage all the time. That's the way that I like to do it, and that goes for everybody. Might need setting up, but rather than having to roll twice manually, it'll just always roll with two numbers. The first one is
twice.
Yeah. But yeah, with advantage anyway, it's 17. You kind of roll over the wheel of the Witterquick to kind of move out with a view to giving the planet a wider berth, and tilting the ship so you can see more of it. Currently, you can see that the storms are battering this planet. You can see ash clouds, lightning. You can see monsoons. You can see tsunamis. It's not impossible, as Quinn might have suggested, that there are survivors down there, or that there at least will be. And just as you begin to linger on the temptation to go down there and land it, you hear a voice. Probability of survival upon re-entry minimal.
There's that voice again. Where are you?
You hear nothing.
Did we hear Otua speak? And
Yeah, I think
we
you
hear
did.
The voice in his head.
You did not hear the voice in his head.
Are you all right?
Huh, yeah.
You
Did you not hear that?
No.
There was something telling me basically there's a very slim chance of survival going back down to the planet.
What do you mean something told, like your instincts told you?
No, I heard a voice.
Is anyone else hearing voices?
Nope. You good out to it?
Yeah. I think there's been an awful lot happen today.
I think Crid makes a good point. Like, if we go back to the planet, we might get a handful of people. We're not a mighty fleet of ships. As much as it pains me to say this, because I hate Consec, we should at least let them know.
If that's a plan, Crin, let me know. Let's point this baby, and we'll get the old with a queue in the way.
Well, albeit my payday is long since vacated, it's still my primary objective to protect Enethay. But in the meanwhile, I think we're under duty to inform the nearest outpost. The Consec stands a better chance of evacuating anyone that's left if they can survive this long.
How does Ina feel about that?
She would just sort of Fine. Whatever you think.
I'll be honest, I have no idea. I've never seen this before. I don't know what procedure is. I fly by the seat of my pants, but maybe we could get help here. I don't know.
Is it not possible we might be blamed for this?
Who? Us?
We arrived, made this terrible speech, and then I was violent. I moved things with my eyes without really having much control. And I think some people, it was like it was me or us.
Don't blame yourself, Yes, you seem to exhibit some strange behaviors, powers. You didn't do this to the planet. In fact, you got us out of there. Don't think we would have survived if it wasn't for your ability. In any case, there are a few witnesses. We're the only ones that saw you do it. It's probably most prudent to keep that to ourselves for now. Maybe when you get back home, you can speak to your contacts, studies, figure it out from there. But don't put this on yourself.
Yeah, I second what Corinne says. You didn't do this. I've seen a lot of people do really bad speeches, and no bad speech has ever resulted in this. Yeah?
But to some people, it might look like.
The blame could easily be placed elsewhere. Could be that someone else caused this to happen because you were arriving. You could just as easily be a victim as a perpetrator. And you displayed a great deal of power, which I'd be very interested to learn more about, but I don't think you destroyed this planet all on your own.
I don't think I did either, but what I'm saying is if we go to Consec to talk to them about it, they might not welcome us with open arms.
As you say that, a hammerhead ship closes in your gravitational plane, and Otua, you feel through the spelljamming helm the gravitational plane of the hammerhead ship, which is black and gold. Link with your ship. You can see what a hammerhead ship looks like as I change you over on the screen. It is a definitely larger ship than a Shrike class ship. It is built for patrols and also combat. You can see that there are two. The hammerhead has a kind of a snub point at the forecastle, but then it has two kind of boarding decks on either side, which give it that hammerhead name. Also has an extremely large dorsal, which overlooks a huge mangonel, similar in power to the squid ship you encountered on your way to Elaroon. I would like you, Otua, to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, so that is a 14. With a 14, you maintain control of the Witterquick currently, but you receive a message through the Spelljamming helm. Identified vessel. Please provide us with your identification. Who are the crew? What's your cargo? And what's your clearance?
As we've been on an actual legit mission, do I recognise, like, have they got, like, the black and gold? Is that a colour scheme for a particular faction?
I'm going to make you roll a history check with advantage. Can you all see this ship diagram, by the way, the Hammerhead ship?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. With advantage is 17. Oh, yeah, this is a Consec patrol.
Okay. Well, we've got legitimate business here and actual documents, I think I would go ahead and, this is a time to be scrambling away. I'll pass on the information they've requested.
Please do so.
Hello, hi there. Well, we're the Witterquick. We're on business, a political business, just an escort service from the Shattered Hymn, and unfortunately, as we've completed our assignment and we're heading back, there's been an absolute disaster on the Elaroon.
You feel the message send through the Spelljamming helm, and you feel a little bit of static resonance. And then after a few moments, you receive another message. No shit, it's a disaster on Elaroon. Submit your vessel to boarding immediately.
What? Why?
You are in Consec space, and you are the most proximal ship to a cataclysmic disaster. You will submit to inspection.
Guys, they're wanting to come aboard. I assume if we're thinking about talking to Consec about letting them know what's happened, this is the time we're doing it.
Yeah, I nod towards O2O.
We don't need to tell them what's happened. They can see it.
Yeah, we're complying. We're ready for boarding.
As you do so, you can feel the shadow of the Hammerhead ship pass over the top of the Witterquick. It then descends 30, 40 feet to bring its its starboard side deck, boarding deck, in line with yours. You can see on the side of the Hammerhead ship, the name of the ship is emblazoned as the Civil Resolve.
Oh, here we go. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I've just got to go cover some stuff up.
Do you want to make a stealth check there, Sam?
Yeah, okay. Not very stealthily at all.
As you go to go below deck, you pop open a trapdoor and helping you fail that stealth check is the now escaped and very hungry Om-Nom.
I'll just slam it shut again quick.
Oh, then we're going to make an opposed check. Bear with me. I would like you to make an athletics check. Bear with me.
8.
Now, this is my first roll of the game. I need to make sure that I am whispering all the time, I think. Now, give me a second. I should have the... Oh, I've disabled all of my things. What are they called? Extensions? Bear with me. Need to enable it. And I'm on Always Whisper, so that's good. Give me a second. Sorry about this technical. Here we go. So I'm going to make a dex check against you. Is it going to let me? View details page. Yes, it is. Here we go. What did you roll?
An 8.
Oh, yeah. Om-Nom rushes through your legs as he's now kind of just barking, running around the top deck, escaped as you see a ladder descend from the hammerhead, the civil resolve, and then you can see a particular squad, all dressed in grey armour with black and gold trim. 6 of them descend, kind of like a SWAT team, descend onto the Witterquick. They all are wearing kind of matching half helms that conceal the top, but you can see their mouths. There are various humanoid races, you can tell, but nothing other than that. It looks as though Om-Nom is charging directly for one of this squad. Does anybody... Zam, you've tried to close the door and failed. Does anybody else intervene?
Can I cast Find Familiar to bring Twilight back? Twilight tried to intervene.
Well, Find Familiar's casting time, I think you'll find, is not instant.
Is it not an action? Yes.
Well, I thought it's
constantly.
Okay, and so your familiar Twilight, do you want to describe how you summon them and what they are?
So Twilight is usually a quasit, and with most of the spells that O'Toole casts when you can visibly see what's happening, like there's an orange crystal in his arm now. And that starts, like, his forearm starts to glow a bit, and then his hand has the same sort of coloured glow, and then you see the symbols around his hand before it like casts a this quasit to appear.
Okay. So you summon Twilight where, as the bitey squig Omnom is rushing towards one of the security force.
Twilight, stop Omnom!
So you summon it between the security force and Omnom?
Yeah.
Cool. And you want him just to just tackle him?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then you can make an athletics check, and I will make another dex check.
Oh, not a save. Oh.
Just a check.
Yeah. That's the check.
5. Omnom, like an onrushing linebacker, shoulder tackles Twilight out of the way and leaps towards this onrushing, this now landing Consec security officer, who immediately pulls out their plasma pistol in a trained reflex action. And did you manage to add the bitey squig to your extras tab there, Gav?
I didn't know. I couldn't find it as a homebrew.
Oh, it's definitely in my collection because I've managed.
How do I find your collection?
You don't have to. If you go in the extras tab.
Extras.
And you should be able to.
In the right.
You should. It could be like a beast companion you add it as, or something like that, and then just search for squig, and it'll come up.
Ah, yeah, I've got it now. Great. I was looking in the wrong place. Thank you.
Okay, so now you need to tell me what AC.
15.
That's not the one I've got. It
Oh.
says 13 natural armor for me.
Have I got the wrong one?
I've only added one to my collection, as far as I can see. Have you added one of your own?
I've got a stat block here, but it must be.
Has it got its actions om nom 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 nom? Is that on its actions?
No, I've got a different one.
Cool. Then try and add a different one.
I'll try Beast Companion again. Ah, yeah.
Got it?
Yes. Wait. What's here? List. I can look drop down for state 13.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add it.
I don't know. Can sort that.
Sure.
Whether they sold out a pistol and only 8 this is other than this is now probably only Ina or Kryn.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was having some issues with Discord. Was anyone else getting issues on Discord? Is that just me?
No, just you, I think.
I was fine. I saw you drop in and out though.
Yeah, I tried to reset it. It seems okay for now. What was the question?
So the bitey squig has dodged, has tackled Twilight, has now dodged a bullet fired by one of these Consec soldiers, and is jumping up and is literally about to sink his fangs into the Consec soldier. So it's up to Kryn or Ina to do anything if they want to.
Kirsty was gonna say.
I was gonna cast command. I think I can
Command?
do it on a creature on Omnom.
Cool. And what save does Omnom have to make against that?
Got to make a wisdom saving throw.
Cool.
I've got the right stat block now. It was under pets, not beast companions.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want to roll it then? So wisdom saving throw.
Wizzy save.
Oh no.
7.
Fails, so I tell it to flee. That means that it spends its turn getting away as quickly as possible.
Okay, so it literally, as it's about to jump up, it is overcome with this urge to flee. Ina, as you cast a spell, your third eye opens, and this purple glow emanates from it, which is the same purple glow that overcomes Omnom's eyes, and it just carries on running past the soldier and into the foredeck. The unusualness of your spellcasting is not lost on the soldiers, as they all kind of sink into a defensive stance, and a rope drops down in front of them, and in front of them lands a huge Goliath in Consec uniform, taller than Kryn, in grey plate armor, decorated insignia on the left chest plate. He touches down, and the Witterquick almost shakes. Huh. A lot of trouble for a tiny vessel to have caused. Who is the captain of this ship? Is Zam putting their hand up?
No, he's pointing to Otua. That guy.
Hello. I'm. I guess I'm in charge.
You're the one my navigator spoke to. What's
Yes,
your
that's
name?
me. I'm Otua. What's your name?
I'm Baracus Jaw, Chief of Security aboard Helios 7. It's a nearby Consec outpost where we keep an eye on Elaroon. Seems as though many of our colleagues will have died, succumbing to whatever environmental disaster you have just been party to. We were tracking you through the atmosphere. Therefore, I'm afraid to say, you're all under arrest.
What?
Whatever involvement you've just had in the complete destruction of a planet in Stellar conquered territory.
Are you? How on earth could us four on this tiny little ship destroy a whole planet?
That is what I intend to find out, but I'm quite sure it might have something to do with her.
Oh, Princess Librarian?
We'll get to the bottom of this. Or are you resisting arrest?
I'm just flabbergasted that you've spent your time trying to deal with little old us.
You were the last ship to enter the atmosphere of Elaroon and the first ship to leave it between this event. Even if you weren't responsible, you're bound to know a hell of a lot more than we do right now. So, it is our gracious request that we will allow you to come aboard our ship and submit the Witterquick for inspection. The civil resolve waits for no one.
Can maybe Krim steps in, offers out his hand for a handshake. Krim Kairos, private security for the diplomat Inathe Ilfelrua. Of course, we absolutely submit to any inspection and we don't wish to hold up any investigation. But it is of the utmost importance and my primary directive that House Ornithax is informed of our diplomat's safety.
Huh. You think the elves are going to find out what's happened here before we have? A report may be submitted to House Ornithax in due course, but since this is conquered space, we have jurisdiction.
Of course.
The elves can wait.
Gentlemen, and I'll make it we comply as cleanly as possible at this point.
You notice very pointedly that Brachus does not extend his hand. I would like you to make a charisma check, though, John.
Okay. Just flat charisma. 20.
Mm-hmm.
You see, as you interjected confidently, Brachus kind of steps back into a defensive stance. As he steps back, you can see on his hip, he carries a stun maul. And it is engraved on the shaft with the word unity. However, he doesn't go to grasp it. And he kind of sizes you up and down. You wonder whether he meets physical specimens as grand as Kryn very often. Probably not. However, he then raises his fingers and clicks his fingers as he says, Iron 6, perform a requisition of the vessel, lock down any cargo, and then report back to me. Crew, he addresses Otua, I suggest you follow your captain onto the civil resolve, where we can investigate this further. He gestures politely to a rope ladder.
I'll just signal to Twilight to come over. He casts invisibility and then climbs onto my back.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, you heard BJ here.
As you say that, one of the Iron 6 officers walks past you and sneers. It doesn't seem to faze Brachus. But this elite force of Consec Marines in Storm Grey armor make light work of finding the entrances and exits and cubby holes. And I'm going to actually make an investigation check to see what happens. I won't tell you what the result is. But do you all comply with Brachus's orders aboard the Hammerhead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Sam would make a comment to Kryn, just like a little chuckle, and say, "You've not been on this side before, have you?"
I'll just say to him, when you're left with only one option, take it enthusiastically.
Okay. As you guys climb up the rope ladder, you are welcomed onto the ship by a tiefling who stands at the top of the rope ladder. They are in a junior officer's uniform, not armored, but she helps you up and then stands at attention. Thank you for submitting to our inspection so peacefully. The concept abhors violence. We like to get things done cleanly and efficiently. For unity.
Yeah, okay.
I've no doubt you'll handle the situation in great time.
Well, if you will join me in the stateroom, we can begin our inquiries. And with that, she leads you below deck. You'll see section 17 is the stateroom. You go past various doors on the way, including the crew's quarters and an armory. You'll even see a few other consec officers kind of moving around. It's a heavily populated working ship. As you go past like the crew's quarters, you can see like various paraphernalia. There's like a poster of a concert that happened at the Coil, which you might shoot a wry smile at, Kryn, as you know. The Coil is way outside of consec space. And whoever was on shore leave for them was a long way from home indeed. The cargo hold faces you at the back between a closed set of iron doors, which seem heavily locked down. But before you reach that, Navigator Solar, this tiefling, knocks on the door. It opens by itself, and she leads you inside. She's got these she's got like lilac colored skin with kind of white silver hair, almost similar to Ina, but not as kind of delicately appointed. She also has these like golden ram's claws, ram's horns, not ram's claws, ram's horns over her head, and she has red eyes, totally red pupilless eyes. And she sits you down. We'll be disembarking for Helios 7 shortly. Since you relinquished the spelljamming helm, we're able to guide the Witterquick back to Helios in our gravity plane. So don't worry about it, Captain. I'm sure this is all a big misunderstanding.
You're darn straight it is. We're just trying to get. You saw what was happening down there. We're just trying to get out alive. We're so lucky.
I'm sure you were, and I'm sure there are many people on the planet that weren't so lucky. People that we're responsible for. The Stellar Concord is a broad church, and we accept all kinds. It's terrible for something like this to happen to such a diverse people right on the edge of space. And she looks towards Zam and says, I'm sure you understand.
He doesn't say anything.
With that, you are made to wait for a while in the stateroom.
Before she goes, Corinne might just offer to shake her hand. Corinne Kairos. Thank you for your candor and quick service.
She puts out her hand. I'm Sullivan. I'm the target. You can see
lagging again.
That. You can see she. Just jumping in and out.
Yeah, I was getting some lag again. I'm just trying to reset it.
We can see you, okay?
Yeah, it's not playing well at all on my side. I can hear you, but I can't see anyone. I'm just going to try one more time. There we go. Sorry about that. I think I can hear you now.
Okay.
There we go.
With that, you are made to wait for a while in the stateroom. It's modestly appointed, but it's definitely not an interrogation room. Is there anything anyone would like to do or say?
I think Corinne will discreetly, as is his habit, to just look around and see if there's surveillance devices. Are we pretty under observation here while we're alone?
You can make a perception check.
Let's see. 17.
With a 17, you don't see any direct surveillance equipment. You know that anyone using a spell jamming helm is able to psychically access and message and communicate with anybody on the ship. But if they're not looking for you or talking to you, then they might not see you straight away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything that's a cause for concern in that regard.
Okay.
Corinne, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
You always friendly with people you meet?
For the most part.
Okay.
I'm in no rush to make enemies.
You know this isn't going to go well, right?
It's leaning towards that way, isn't it?
Obviously, me and O2 are how should I say this? We're entrepreneurs of a sort. We've not had good history with these guys. How can I say this? I don't know. It's just be on your guard. This is going to go south very quickly.
Hope you haven't got anything too risky in that cargo of yours.
Oh well, the ship might be a bit of a problem, but that's not on you. That's on it's over to a ship, so it's it's on him. But yeah, just be we're not with friends. We're going to get accused of destroying our planet. And we don't have defense.
Sorry, I am breaking up again.
Oh no.
Don't know why it's doing this.
Speed.
It looks fine. OBS is fine. I'm plugged into the Ethernet. Let me try drop in and out one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Whenever I come back in, it's fine. It's not giving me any errors or any of this like low connection stuff.
Well,
we're alive now. Yeah, I'll just have to. If it keeps happening, I might just have to drop out and drop back in very quickly.
Okay. After a while, you get a knock at the door, and letting themselves in is the captain of the vessel. You were appraised, initially by Brackus Jaw, who's the head of security. You've met the navigator, and this is the captain quite clearly, as he is the most decorated officer that you've seen. But he comes in quite unassuming. And he addresses you all stood up on the other side of a table, kind of a stately hosting table at the far side of the room. There's almost like a little fireplace in this stateroom. It's got like a mantelpiece. It's where he receives officers, and maybe some of the officers, make their planning and do various strategic work in this room. Although there's no evidence of that right now. He says, Kryn Kairos.
Yes.
You were a somewhat decorated consec officer until quite recently, is that correct?
That is correct.
I'd like to speak to you in private. The search on the Witterquick is complete, but as you'll know, discretion is the better part of valor. And before I decide on what the next move is, I'd like to understand who I'm speaking to. If you'll join me in the officer's mess.
Of course.
And he shows you out.
Yeah, follow, no problem.
Before he leaves, can I use my awakened mind technique to telepathically connect with Kryn as he leaves?
Sure. Would Kryn know that you're doing this?
It doesn't say.
Then you decide.
If it's shown, I because there's quite a lot of the abilities that are shown as without verbal and somatic components. I think he can do this quite subtly.
Okay. And it allows you just to communicate with him, messaging?
Yeah, I'll share it. It's I can communicate back and forth as long as we know a language and we're within a certain number of miles.
That's fine. As the captain leads you out into the officer's mess, he switches to Kythorian.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, now, I'm not aware of a off-the-books mission or any kind of subversive operation that you may have been embarking on. But your record is pretty spotless, other than a few violent flare-ups in the academy. As soon as Brachus identified you, I felt compelled to communicate with my superiors and draw up whatever data I could find. And I was impressed. Too impressed. I want you to tell me, Kryn, whether your discharge from our organization was a cover, and whether you're in league with these pirates and the elf.
As for the discharge from service, I don't need to tell you how the politicking and bureaucracy can often be turned the wrong way against an agent that's just trying to do his best in the job he's given. But as for this...
Some people fall afoul of naivety and cling too tightly to their principles in the face of a mission. However, as you know, when it comes to the Stellar Concord, the mission is paramount.
Far be it from me to allay your suspicions. As you're well aware, I could tell you near enough any story to make for a cover if I needed one. But as I'm sure you understand, some details from certain missions simply have to be compartmentalized. I'd love to discuss it further with you, but it's not something I can press on.
Are you making a deception check here, John?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it from him. I'm trying to explain to him that, you know, working in like an intelligence agency and in ConSec, like he should know that you can't always give details to other sections without like a commander's permission or something. So I'm not necessarily trying to deceive him. I'm trying to get at that point.
Then you can choose persuasion or deception.
Okay, I think it's the same check anyway, but we'll go. I think it's more of a persuasion. 26.
With a 26. He kind of straightens up. Well, seems as though I'll have to submit a request to the Intelligence Directorate to uncover the truth.
As it was well within your rights, and you're most welcome as far as I'm concerned. As for the pressing matter of the crew, this was simply somewhat ashamed to admit more circumstance of budgeting. I'm working privately in security, and I was offered only a small sum from House Ornithax to escort their diplomat. We thought it best to hire a third party to keep costs down and to keep our cover. A fine ship like this would have been much more comfortable and much more within my expertise to have as export such a diplomat, but just wasn't the way House Ornithax saw it. As for them hiring the third party, they could have done better. There might have been a couple of things in the cargo that were under the radar, but I cased it and there wasn't anything within my concern. Did you find anything that seemed to be a security risk?
Brachus has yet to submit his report, but we will appraise you of any charges once we dock at Helios 7. You will recall now that he's mentioned it, that Helios 7 is a small satellite space station that orbits Ellerune. You can tell he's somewhat frustrated by your playing this straight, but given that he's the captain of a vessel, inhabits and mirrors your expression perfectly. It feels like a game of chess going on between you. With a sigh, he says, well, now that we're appraised of each other, you are dismissed. You can return to the stateroom. We'll be boarding before the end of the day. I suggest you make yourself comfortable. Well, you can.
I'll give him a salute and every polite,
He acknowledges you almost with a reflex, and you can take yourself back off to the stateroom. While you are traveling the rest of the way, this is like a good half day around the other side of the planet. You can hear the moving of cargo as the Witterquick is stripped of everything, is going onto the cargo deck inside the Civil Resolve. With a half day, you feel like you're spending it as prisoners, but you are not in handcuffs. Occasionally, Sola comes back to check on you. You find her to be quite amenable, and you also sense that her checking in on you verges on somewhat unprofessional, her tiefling-like curiosity getting the better of her.
Mm-hmm. What was the captain's name? Did you say it earlier?
Oh, if he didn't introduce himself, then he definitely would have done. His name is Arden Creel.
Arden Creel.
Ardan Kreel. So, you can hear the mechanical clunking of a magnetic dock facility attaching itself to the Civil Resolve and the Witterquick. You can then hear the opening of doors and the marching of consec officers as the familiar Brachus Jaw comes to escort you from the stateroom. Huh. Well, I've got to say I'm disappointed.
In what?
Other than that squig, it's not exactly like the Witterquick was carrying loot or way too much contraband. Enough for a few misdemeanors. But to be honest, I thought you were packing the good stuff. Little ships always are. You better watch out for them.
Does that mean your big ship carries the crap?
Wait, don't get clever. I'm here to escort you onto the space station.
It looks at Kryn, who's like, are we going along with this?
Yeah, Kryn would just say, of course, we'll comply.
As Kryn and Zam and Otua file out, Brachus interjects himself in front of Ina. Sorry, miss. I've got different orders for you. Put these on. And he hands you some manacles.
What?
Been advised to take a precaution. Precaution
What?
involves not letting spellcasters use their hands.
Good. Casper.
but the more of the civic insignia is more of a kind of dark blue and cyan kind of overlaid on each other. Makes it appear more friendly, at least. You can see at the end point of this intersectional platform, you can see turrets on each side. You can also see various monitoring devices. I will say I would like Otua and Ina to make a perception check.
Eight.
8 for Otua. And is that a 12 for Ina, or?
It's a 12. On rolling from roll 20, you can't just roll twice. You either have to roll with advantage or disadvantage.
Okay, that's fine. You don't really feel anything, Otua, but Ina, as you step onto Helios 7, you can feel one of the scanning devices. You can just feel it. It's like you're being watched. The others feel nothing. Yeah, you can. It's like a concentric circles that are rotating and closing in and collapsing on each other. And at the very center, there is a glowing crystal. Cyan colored, faint psionic resonance.
I don't know what exactly it's monitoring about me.
No.
Or does it feel like if it's a psionic basis, does it feel like it's getting in my head?
It does feel like that, yeah.
I try and clear my head as much as possible.
Sure. You are led into Helios 7, and Brachis leads Kryn, Zam, and Otua to the left. And another officer, one of the Iron Six, one of Brachis' patrolmen, or two of them, flanking Ina, march her to a brig. It's been probably nearly 24 hours now since the disaster unfolded, since you made the escape through the atmosphere. You had a bit of kind of reflection and getting back kind of on your feet before you were boarded and then travelled to Helios 7 in the orbit of Elaroon.
Can I, if Ina is being escorted off, can I sort of interject and I would just ask one of the guards, like, is that really necessary?
One of the Iron Six just turns around and says, "We've taken every precaution until we understand exactly what's happened. For the safety of the Concorde."
I can appreciate the utmost measures must be taken to maintain security, but I'm sure you understand it's part of my operational detective to keep Enithe within my sight. If you could escort me into a nearby cell, I'll happily submit to being manacled. I'm sure you can appreciate my accurate report must be given to Houth Ornithax, and they'll, I'm quite sure, insist to know every step of the way what sort of eye Enithe was being kept under. Yeah, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to press on the point that, like, I'm basically going to report everything that happens here to House Ornithax to see if that influences them to maybe give us a little bit of leeway.
Sure.
Like, if there's any kind of evidence that she's been treated unfairly or unjustly, like, House Ornithax is going to hear about it.
Sure. Just going to just download something. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know why Discord was playing up, but I was getting that error that we were getting the other day with that video error that we kept getting.
That's weird. Okay. So, as Ina is located in a holding cell, the rest of you are located together, and as you make remonstrations with the guard, they say, "Oh, you will have to take that request up with Commander Syndrel. They're the chief here on Helios 7. I wouldn't get your hopes up, though. He's a stern taskmaster. Still, I wonder how wise it is to keep a dignitary of House Ornithax captive. I'll share your concerns." And he salutes you before closing you in the holding cell.
Mm-hmm.
Ina, that lingering feeling of being watched has only gotten stronger since you entered the cell. There is a blue crystal in the middle of a vase, which is placed on a table, which sits between two chairs and a two-way mirror in this otherwise featureless room. What do you do?
I just need a second to read about my third eye. Maybe none of that is that relevant. But maybe I'll try and spend a psionic point. Kind of, these are like the things that I can do to do stuff like detecting secret doors or invisible creatures
Mm-hmm.
and seeing in different darknesses. And I sort of imagine the first time it happens, she does it accidentally.
Sure.
Just by trying to figure out if there is anything else going on in here.
Sure. I will say that as you sit down on one of the chairs and look around, the coldness of the metal chair just kind of sends a shudder down your back, and immediately your third eye opens and you can, having spent a sorcery point, see through the two-way mirror. With that, you can see a Concord Intelligence Directorate officer, a plainclothes detective, watching on a different screen something that it should be impossible for them to watch. They are watching not a clear signal, a recording, a broken up transmission of a meeting that is either currently, oh, look at him, he's just like, Mama, please.
Help me.
He's ruining my dramatic moment.
Being too cute.
Yeah. He just wants you to give him a stroke. Doesn't he?
Not going to continue this until I give him a stroke.
Yeah. You can see a intelligence directorate officer looking at a screen. The screening, you can't hear what is being said on this, whatever he's watching, but you damn sure recognize 3 of the 7 people taking part in this meeting, because they are the heads of the triarchy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Their names.
You can see High Warlord Tharian Coroneth.
Okay.
You can see Lady Serelith Elstra. And Archseer Ozithar Ormathax. Together with their trade secretaries, advisors, intelligence officers. And they are all in discussion with each other. You can see a device next to the screen that is automatically scribing words that are picked up from the meeting, and you can see this officer like going through at least a partial transcript. His attention hasn't turned to you yet.
And I think this is a live meeting.
You don't know.
Somehow... Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'll just watch it as closely as possible. Watch the body language between the 3 triarchy heads.
Sure. I'm going to give you an insight check at disadvantage, seeing as you're looking through a two-way mirror at a crackly recording.
It's fair. A 6.
It's difficult to know. I would say the only thing you see with a 6 is Tharian Coroneth is pissed.
But maybe he always is pissed.
Probably.
He's one of those people. Okay. I'll just continue to watch intently. I guess to the guard it would look like I'm just staring at the mirror.
Yeah. While this is happening, it's not long before the Iron 6 guards turn back up. This time, they are with you see this kind of junior intelligence officer. She knocks at the door and opens it. Good evening. I trust your accommodation is comfortable, at least.
Good evening. Quite comfortable enough.
I was told that I'd like to speak with the commander.
If that's at all possible, yes.
He can make his way here imminently. I have a small request. Captain, with me?
Sorry, I'm losing you there.
I see Sam's body language. I'm gonna do the psychic link with him as I walk. Yeah, I guess. Why can't we talk in here with everyone else?
To be discreet, it's a matter concerning your health.
Okay. I feel like my health is better if I'm with the rest of the crew.
Can't ascertain that at this moment. Please, come with me.
I'll go with him, like, and then just like in Sam's head, he'll just like, I'll try and keep in touch as long as I can.
Okay, find us a route to the outside, check for portholes, stuff like that.
Will do. If we're traveling away from that room, I'll be looking at the environment for the route we're taking.
Yeah, sure. Make a perception check.
Mighty 10.
As I said, this is kind of a brutalist environment. It's not a long way to the door that you came in, but there were no windows in the room, and there are currently no windows in the corridor that you're in. You are led forth by. She identifies. My name is Saray. I'm a inspector analyst here at Helios 7. Your ship is showing much of his materials are kind of become irradiated. I'd just like you to ask you a few questions about your exposure to the disaster on Elaroon.
Oh, it's not difficult.
She opens a door into another cell, not an interrogation chamber, just a different room. It looks very clinical and clean, but yeah, she gestures that you go in.
Okay, yeah, I'll step in.
She shuts the door behind you without following you and turns a handle. As you do that, the lights inside are dimmed. And as you look around, you can see quarantine signs.
I'll instantly message Sam. Go. Oh, it was a trap. They've locked me in a room with quarantine signs all over it.
What route did you take to get there?
I'll explain what I remember of the route.
Yeah. It's simple enough. It's not a big space station. That leaves Kryn and Zam on their own, with Zam alert to Otua's situation. What do you guys want to say or do?
It's going south already, Kryn. They've got O2 in a contamination room. Things are going to get worse.
Contamination room?
Yeah, so they've put him in quarantine.
You sure you didn't have anything on the ship?
No, we're not. We're not those types of people. Yeah, we've got some dodgy rum that we're not meant to have, and might have some silks that dropped off the back of a loader somewhere, but we're not going to deal with that type of contamination. They're taking us away one by one. They've split us up. You don't know where Ina is.
Trying to press on the argument that I'll be writing up a report that will illustrate that we've been separated from the diplomat, and that'll be communicated to House Ornithax, but they don't seem to be buying it. Seems like something more is going on here.
Reach up and grab Kryn by the shoulders. You're not going to be writing any report. We're all going to disappear on this station.
Can I, out of like my professional opinion, like I'm wrestling with what Zam's saying, what I'm seeing here, is this a lot of stuff that's really like sus?
Make a history check.
History, okay. This is just a flat check.
You can make history or insight. I'll give you the history is like what you know about concept procedure. Insight is what vibe are you getting?
How people act, and yeah. Let's go with that. That one. Maybe
it's this cataclysmic disaster that you just lived through, a day ago. But you can't make head or tail of what's happening here. This seems abnormal to you, but there's nothing about this situation that is objectively normal.
Look, planet all just went up in flames. It's unorthodox that we're being separated, but they might just be taking extra steps. Just keep your ears to the ground and don't push too hard unless we really have to get out of here. Just keep in touch with O'Tua.
I start banging on the door to the room that we're in.
Okay.
God.
You now see that there is a peephole in the door. What is it? What are the Iron Six?
I need to, use the facilities. I'll be quick. Just take me out of here for a second.
Make a persuasion check.
18.
Fine. I don't want you making a mess in there. Come with me. And they open the door. And they take you in the opposite direction to where Zam and Ina are.
I'm going to make a mental note of the station and where we are and where he takes me and stuff like that.
Sure. Given that Zam is kind of like also, you're connected with him and he's already had a look around, I'll give you a survival check at advantage.
22.
Yeah. You've been aboard Concorde vessels before. You know that a lot of their designs are cookie cutter. You've got a good, fairly good appraisal of what might be where. It makes sense. The design makes sense in your mind with that survival check. And you're led to a bathroom while a member of the Iron Six stands outside. Kryn, in this moment, the door is left open and you can hear confident footsteps. 2 or 3 people coming down the corridor, only a few yards away.
Could I, so I'm trying to think spycraft here, like maybe like the latch mechanism for the door, if I can like shove in something in like the receiving end so that the door won't like close properly or something like that. Like,
ooh, I like it. Let's make a sleight of hand check. See if we can jimmy the door so it won't lock.
Okay. Oh, I got +2. All right. 20.
Nice. Yeah. You've had to do this before. You just press your thumb into the lock. This is not a high security room. This is like a reception room. Unless it was locked while you were here. You slide your thumb to the inside lock and rotate the handle one way, and it's a little bit of force to press the lock too far into the door. Do you then stand back to what you were doing, or return where you were stood, or you stand by the door?
Yeah, I'm getting you breaking up a little bit. Just what I pretty much heard it. Just 1 second.
Hello.
Yeah, you were asking me if I stand back to let them. Yeah, I'd let them come in. They can shut the door, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. In that moment, you are approached. You are approached by a very well-appointed commander. You can see by their rank, Commander Syndrel. They're not like a member of the Consec security provision, like their security detail. You can see through his ranks, you wouldn't need to make a check for, that he is part of the Concord Intelligence Directorate, CID. Given that he's achieved the rank of commander, you would automatically assume that this guy has seen more action than you, and to have achieved this kind of position, that they've been extremely successful at it. They are a human. They are probably in their early 50s. You can see that he has like almost like battery acid scarring up the neck and cheek, where he has like a blonde goatee with lots of kind of grey and white. He has a toothpick and slick back blonde hair, which is buzzed at the sides, and on top of his uniform, he's wearing a long, dark trench coat. He's flanked by 2 members of the Iron Six, and he gives them a nod, and they both turn their backs and are now stood outside the doorway.
Yeah, Corinne will like stand to attention, offer a salute, Commander. Tries to make his respect obvious.
Well, Kryn Kairos. I thought I recognized you.
Commander Syndrel, I presume. Have we had the pleasure of meeting before?
A long time ago. I was responsible for some of the exploratory missions that took place in the early days of our inquiries on Brondak. You were one of the children there, yes?
That is correct.
So unfortunate. The instability that has lingered there has cost so many lives. But you are a good example of how high one can climb when one complies, follows the rules.
I was offered structure in a very uncertain world, sir.
And that is what the Concord offers. structure, unity, strength. I'll be honest, it doesn't look good for you, Kairos. It would be very easy to turn this state of affairs against you. I could paint you quite easily as a traitor, somebody who has been working for House Ormasax all along, someone who was planted on Kython from a very early age, from an old colonial world. And all of your achievements, all of your connections, all of your esteem, and what's left of your very meager pension will be turned over to the Central Council, and you will become an enemy of the state. Those are the stakes you are dealing with, Kairos. Unless you cooperate with me.
Have I shown anything less than cooperation since I boarded the vessel and this outpost?
You were right to be guarded against the captain. I wouldn't expect you to turn over all of your secrets to a jumped up Mr. Creel. He has ideas above his station, but you and I, we know better. We know better than to give away our secrets at the first time of asking, and that is why I'm here now, to ask for a second time. There will not be a third. Who is your employer?
House Ornithax, sir.
Do you have a name, a contact?
If I do have one, I would give...
You don't?
Is that sometimes how that works? Yeah,
They remain. I'm not giving you a direct name. They have a main plausibility.
Yeah. They use the usual anonymous channels.
I like the story. Well, if that is so, they you would be free to send us the facts if we let you.
I've totally lost that last bit.
He is wondering whether you would be free to return to House Ormathax if he let you go.
My primary operation is to simply escort Miss Ithelrua? Candidly, sir, I'd very much like to get paid what little I can after this debacle.
Oh, we can pay you. I could even reinstate you with a promotion. If you were to return to House Ormasax and report back to me.
And if I may speak candidly out of turn, sir, what is the play here? You seem to be driving a decent wedge between House Ornithax and Consec.
They did that themselves when they sent a dignitary of theirs to one of our worlds, and not hours later, that world has resulted in total and cataclysmic failure. This is an act of war. But one does not just declare war against one of the oldest and most esteemed organizations in the galaxy. We have to know exactly what happened and what power they have. If they were to send a dignitary with cataclysmic psionic powers aboard Kython, we need to know that we could withstand it. And that is why the Concord needs you, Kryn. You are ideally placed to find out.
All due respect, Commander, you think the librarian was responsible for that cataclysmic planetary event?
You think she is a mere librarian? You are still labouring under misapprehension. She is clearly a weapon.
If that is your mission, sir, then I can't imagine it'll bear much fruit. But my next stop is House Ornithax. There's something to report. How may I get in contact with you?
I do not feel mad. You cooperate with me, or you stay here and investigations progress.
I lost you again, one sec.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, this is doing my head in.
Yeah, it's making me want to kill myself. He says, I'll give you time to consider my offer while I appraise myself of the other members of your crew. I'm offering you a chance at real glory for the Concord, Kryn. I do not want you to turn it down lightly. And with that, he stands up, expecting a salute.
Reluctantly, like, yeah.
He then dismisses himself and shuts the door. Meanwhile, Zam, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm having problems in here, mate. You're going to have to give me a minute.
Make a deception check. We've gone from spy subterfuge to shitting the bed.
18.
Goodness, Zam, your body is capable of emitting the strangest and most inhuman sounds. And that is extremely off-putting to the Iron 6 member that has chosen to escort you to the loo. I think with an 18, they are going to go and get a medic. So they run past Kryn's room where he is now and towards the medical bay in the direction that Otua was taken.
I want to do two quick things. My psychic link to Otua, I want to say, how are we doing? Do we need to get out of here?
No one's come back in yet, but this won't last much longer. It doesn't last very long, this.
Right. Stay put, I'm coming to you. And then I'm going to cast the cantrip message to Kryn and say, how are you doing in there? I'm thinking of disappearing.
Sounds better than the shit's creek I'm up.
Okay. Try and stall him as long as you can. I'm going to give this guard the slip.
Okay. Do you want to make a stealth check? We'll just see how good you are at that. Oh, nice. Can I say, Zam, that you seep through the metal corrugated floor? No?
I've got a thing. I want to flush myself down the toilet.
You want to flush yourself down the toilet?
Yeah. Because that way I'll get into the system and I won't be a walkway or in an air, and I'll be part of I'll be in like the infrastructure of the building rather than just like in a corridor somewhere. So I think it'd take like maintenance crew to come and find me, and like he's in waste pipe C on subdeck. Do you know what I mean? Be actually like in the innards of the.
Sure, that's fine. You fog wash yourself and go straight down the pipe. Zam, you can see the intelligence officer. Hold on. Did I give you a name?
Surrey.
Pardon?
Surrey.
Surrey.
Inspector analysis.
Uh-huh. Bear with me. Oh yeah, I've just gone too far down. Oh yeah, Surrey. She is also a tiefling. She's much taller and more elegant than the navigator. But she is not dressed in naval uniform. She is also in CID uniform, the Concord Intelligence Directive. Despite that, though, she wears she's got like medical overalls on and long gloves. And she is visible from a room that is like sealed through a window on the other side. And there's a microphone that she speaks to you through. Captain, I'm sorry for my deception earlier, but I had to make sure that we could quarantine you.
What's the meaning of this?
You seem to have brought aboard an anomaly.
What do you mean?
I mean, some foreign body giving off a huge amount of psionic resonance is emitting it from somewhere within your person. I must warn you that in the far reaches of consec space, we have encountered things like this before.
At this point, Attila's just thinking about Twilight, thinking, sure, you've clearly met creatures like this before, but it's not radiating anything. What on earth are you talking about? Like, so like he'll grab Twilight and like he'll become visible. It's like it's just a quasit. That there's nothing radiating from him.
No. We were aware of the quasit. Thank you for alerting us to his presence, though. We lost track of him since you docked, or since the Whittaquick docked here. No, we can't quite pin down where the psionic resonance is coming from. It's so powerful. The signals are really jamming up our equipment. Please, will you just lie on the surgical table?
Can I like work out if she's being genuine about this, or I've been deceived already, so my back's up again about her.
Make an insight check. With a 6, she does seem genuinely concerned for your well-being.
Is there straps and things like that on the table? Is it just a plain table as far as I can see?
It's like a dentist chair almost.
Okay, because I think it's been genuine, I'll sit down. I'm very cautious about this. Twilight, if things go south, straight through there to her.
As you sit in a dentist chair, this device lowers from the ceiling, like a circular opening, like drops down like an orb on the end of a stick that has also got like steel rings and circuitry. Kind of looks like a probe of sorts.
What the hell thing?
We just need to do a more localized scan to establish the nature of this psionic anomaly. Thank you for cooperating. I didn't mean to scare you before, but we need to make sure that it's not a zillithid.
A what?
A zillithid? I take it you've not encountered them before.
Never heard of it. What's that?
Zillithids are aberrations from the far realm. They find a human host and implant themselves inside it. Their psionic powers can often delude their prey into thinking that they're bonding with some hive mind. They're entreating themselves into the company of some partner, some bond, some union, but be under no illusions. If you are ever bonded by a zillithid, your days are numbered. We want to make sure that if you are infected, if you have been bonded by a zillithid, then A, that you know, and B, that you're contained.
Oh, I can let you know without needing that crazy gadget that.
Oh, before you say that next word, make a Constitution saving throw, please, Craig. With a 14, as you say, there's no zillithid here. The probe starts up, and you can see these like flashing lights, and they cascade all over your body. And you can feel your left forearm begin to tingle. And in that moment, Helios 7 channels open. Would you like me to access them?
Yes.
Downloading. And you can see the technician seems completely unaware of your psychic interactions and instructions, and they seem to be reading psionic resonance readouts, other biographical data, brainwaves, temperature, and some of them look normal, some of them look abnormal. Bear with me 1 second. Do you relax and just let whatever's happening, or do you ask any more questions?
Is that to Nexivus or to Suro?
Either.
Is this going to take long? Like, what can you see?
Many of your vitals look normal, which is reassuring. If you have been bonded with, it's extremely early stages, but the psionic resonance spikes are massive. This is huge. You haven't suffered from any episodes like fits or passing out or seizures?
Only when you're stupid guards at the when we're trying to get out of the planet. They knocked me unconscious.
Well, I can actually see some residual trauma, and then you can see her voice kind of fades into the background, and you hear 542-663-020. I have full access to Helios 7. How would you like me to proceed?
I need you to help us get out of here. Me and all my crew.
The one designated Ina is currently locked in a high security facility. I've downloaded the security logs. I can unlock the door.
Yeah, unlock all the doors.
The most likely plan for escape is to use a high-velocity transport ship, such as the Whittaquick.
Whereabouts is it?
It is docked approximately 340 yards from your location. Turn left. Carry on. Turn right. Error. Your friend Zam is currently lodged in the sanitation unit. I cannot unlock the sanitation unit. Best chances of survival may involve leaving him behind.
Well, that's not happening. We don't leave anyone behind.
Then I suggest you create a diversion to give him time to extract himself from the sanitation unit. The door containing your friend Kryn is already unlocked.
What about those turrets we went by on the way in? Any chance we can point them at the? Can we point them at the civil resolve?
Attempting. I want you to make an intelligence check at advantage to see if this is possible.
Just an intelligence.
Yeah. Turrets. I cannot exert control over the turrets, but I can deactivate them.
Well, that's as good a start as any.
It is vital that I am not extracted from you.
Okay, what can we do to stop that?
Highest likelihood of success, and she repeats, getting onto a quick ship, getting out of here as quickly as possible.
Is my door unlocked?
It is now.
Is the door to where Surrey is? Can that be locked?
It can now.
In fact, apart from the doors that we've just unlocked, can you lock all the others apart from any that me or my crew need to get to the Whittaquick?
Warning, locking all doors is likely to raise the alarm.
Can we turn the alarm off?
Complying. And yeah, she deactivates it for you.
At that point, I think we're like, well, sorry, this has been a lot of fun, but
wait, the scan's not finished yet. Please remain seated.
No, I think I probably want to be on my way now. If you can just let your friends know, it was lovely hospitality, but I'm going to be on my way now.
What are you talking about? Wait, the door's not. Hey! And she goes back to her door, and it's totally locked. She's like, "Hey, wait!" And she's banging on the glass as you make an escape. Yeah. You seem to now know. You just know the entire layout of this facility.
I'll head straight for Kryn because he's the nearest person.
He is.
Um,
Kryn, you hear footsteps. Are you running or not?
yeah.
Okay, you hear footsteps running towards the door.
Yeah, I think Kryn maybe bursts out of the door as the footsteps get close, thinking he's about to tackle a guard, and sees Otua.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, steady!
Where's Zenithe?
Steady on. She's just like relays the location of where she is.
Yeah, she's not far.
She's all right. The door's unlocked. And like give directions. Like, I just need to find Sam somehow.
You go for Zam. I'll find Ina. And I'll go with the directions.
Okay. Ina, as you look through the two-way mirror, you can see since Nexus's intervention, the screen that this intelligence officer was looking at has turned to static. And that unusual turn of events has led him to, like, he's adjusting his machine. It's not seeming to work, and then he goes to exit the door to presumably go and get some technical support, but the door's locked. What do?
Okay.
You can see him
Still
trying the door. You are, yeah.
Did I hear my door unlock?
Make a perception check. You didn't, but you do hear footsteps, large footsteps coming towards you quite quickly.
I think I would try the door.
Okay. As you fling the door open. Yeah, you can still try the door. When you get up, you take your eye away from the two-way mirror and you go straight for the door. And as you pull it open, you can see Kryn stood there in front of you.
Are we going?
You said it.
Okay.
Along with him.
You catch up to Otua. Otua, there is no visible, other than shouting down the toilet, there's no physical way for you to access the sanitation. And as you kind of look around for an inlet or a maintenance cupboard, you turn round, you catch up with Ina and Kryn, and you are heading towards the docks. And in that moment, you see 3 of the Iron Six turn round with their stun batons from round the corner. They're escaping! And given the technical issues that we've had, I think, if you wouldn't mind, we're going to start the next session with a hot start straight into combat.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think if we start combat now, we're liable to run quite late.
Yeah.
So we will cut it there, and we will start with your escape from Helios 7. Yeah. Thank you very much. 3 guards.
3.
I'll warn you, they're more heavily, they're beefier than the Consec guards that you were against on Elaroon.
Okay.
But you guys are also level 3, so make it count. Yeah. Prepare as well, Zam. You never know where that sanitation port's going to drop you out of.
Best water slide ever.
Should have asked this
Directly
earlier.
into space.
But when we had chance to rest earlier, could we have done short rests?
Oh,
in
absolutely.
In the stateroom.
Yeah, you also had basically half a day aboard your ship traveling back here. So yeah, you can have a short rest and spend as many hit dice as you need to.
Sweet. Do that before next time.
Still exhausted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, did we not go back to max HP because we were leveled up?
No, we've kind of bent the rules a little bit there.
Okay.
But will I let you reduce your levels of exhaustion by 1? Yes, because you've had a day in hospitality, not doing anything really. So yeah, you can reduce 1 level of exhaustion, spend as many hit dice as you want to recover HP, but no long rests at this point. Carry on.
Exhaustion's changed. Did you know that? How
you can update us. Tell me.
I can't remember how it is for movement, but instead of a different thing happening every level, it's that for every level of exhaustion you have, when you make a roll, you deduct twice your level of exhaustion off that. So all my rolls tonight are -2 off of them. I've been exhausted. My sheets just automatic. Yeah. Eat into my rolls like I can, but if you like details.
See?
So that's because I had 1 level, but if it was 2, I'd have 4 off, 3, 6 off, etc.
So you just get bigger and bigger penalty from exhaustion now. Every level you get.
Yes, I think you also get a penalty off your speed. Maybe it's like 5 feet off your speed for every level.
Makes sense.
It is.
Strange because I had it on my sheet, but it didn't actually. Okay.
So if you're
you'll
playing
manually do it.
Yeah, if you're playing with D&D Beyond when you've got exhaustion, you'll have to remember to subtract from your rolls, which is a bit crappy. And maybe Beyond 20 will be looking at that. I'm sure that's something they'd like to code in. But yeah, thank you for joining us for session 1 of this new campaign, the Black Meridian setting and the Valthyrian catastrophe. Apologies for the technical issues. We are just getting our sea legs back, so hopefully we'll be able to iron those out in due course. But yeah, we'll see you next time to see if the crew of the Witter Quick can escape from Helios 7 and escape the clutches of the Stellar Concord. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. Good
Till
night.
next time.